Hi, I'm Dave Sobel from the Business of Tech podcast. I want to dive into some of the data that came out in CompTIA's IT Industry Outlook 2020. Give you a little bit of my insight into some of the data and where my head's at on this. So first off, let's dive in a little bit of the factors that could inhibit growth that they talked about for 2020. Obviously, that first one that we saw that jumps right out is that customers could be delaying based on thinking that the market's going to change or that they're going to be postponing for a wait and see approach. Kind of an obvious one. The one I wanted to highlight that I did talk a little bit about in the podcast is that dichotomy there of government regulations. CompTIA's positioning that government regulations could actually be a hindrance if they add more or free up the market if they remove it. I want to challenge that idea a little bit and actually say that we may need some government regulations to put some boundaries on that. We talked a little bit about on the podcast how the adult entertainment industry is actually very regulated, and they've come up with a lot of content moderation and data protection as well as privacy protection to address exactly this concern, particularly because you can see all of the scenarios that might be a problem for that industry. We may be in a position where some elements of tech could really benefit by being given those guardrails. I think first off, as an industry, we ought to be talking a little bit about self-regulation, but additionally, we may need to put forth some regulation to help give us some guidance. This is some good data to dive into. If we're looking for opportunities of growth, it's really obvious that there's growth in all of these emerging technology areas. That's really an area that we ought to be exploring what that means and what that could mean for your business. CompTIA's dived into some of those key emerging ones, and I think this is worth considering. Figure out in your business where you're going to be moving and what you're going to be doing from an emerging technology perspective. Because by the way, channel firms are expecting to see the growth here. You can see that they're expecting significant gains around these emerging technology areas. That's a big growth opportunity. It's continuing to expand the market. This is an area you're going to want to look at. On the IT pro front, they're also seeing opportunity here from an IT professional perspective, looking to find those new opportunities from potentials. Seeing at artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and 5G topping that list. That falls right into line with what the emerging technology community has been predicting, some of the top 5 and top 10 trends. So we're seeing a big alignment there between where we see the opportunity, where IT professionals see the opportunity, and where we as an industry can also go. But let's look there from a labor perspective. CompTIA's got some perspective for us in terms of the factors that are hindering and potentially making it more difficult to hire. Topping that list is you're competing with talent. Labor is continuing to be the top concern for channel companies. We see it again here in this report, and we can additionally find that this is going to be the challenge because you're looking for that. You may have to pay more to land that top talent, and you're going to need to differentiate in order to bill more for that same talent. Where are you looking for in terms of experience? It's kind of across the range, and we can definitely see some of those opportunities out there. This just gives you a little bit of the insight. On Tuesday's episode of the Business of Tech podcast, we covered a little bit more and a different perspective of this, as well as some other data. Thanks for joining me. Hope this has been a helpful insight into some of this data, and we'll see you on mspradio.com.